It is better to offer no excuse than a bad one. It is better to be alone than in bad company. If freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led, like sheep to the slaughter. My mother was the most beautiful woman I ever saw. All I am, I owe to my mother. I attribute my success in life to the moral, intellectual, and physical education I received from her. But in case an unfortunate event occurs that could harm my reputation, I request every gentleman present here to remember that I hereby declare with utmost sincerity that I do not consider myself competent enough for the command I have been honored with. A primary object should be the education of our youth in the science of government. In a republic, what species of knowledge can be equally important? And what duty is more pressing than communicating it to those who are to be the future guardians of the liberties of the country? Be courteous to all, but intimate with few, and let those few be well tried before you give them your confidence. True friendship is a plant of slow growth, and must undergo and withstand the shocks of adversity before it is entitled to appellation. Human happiness and moral duty are inherently linked. 99% of failures come from people who make excuses. I hope to have the firmness and virtue necessary to maintain the character of an honest man, which I consider the most enviable title. There is nothing which can better deserve our patronage than the promotion of science and literature. Knowledge is in every country the surest basis of public happiness. Guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience. Perseverance and determination have achieved remarkable feats throughout history. It is better to be alone than to keep bad company. Associate yourself with men of good quality if you value your own reputation. Let us encourage each other and show that a free man fighting for liberty on his own land is better than any enslaved mercenary. Few men have the moral strength to resist the temptation of money and power when it is offered to them by someone who is willing to pay the most. A sensible woman can never be happy with a fool. Experience has shown that it is much easier to prevent an enemy from securing a position than to dislodge them after they have already taken it. Happiness depends more upon the internal frame of a person's own mind than on the externals in the world. The harder the conflict, the greater the triumph. Worry is the interest paid by those who borrow trouble. The turning points of lives are not the great moments. The real crises are often concealed in occurrences so trivial in appearance that they pass unobserved. As humanity becomes more accepting and tolerant, they will be more likely to recognize that everyone who behaves as a responsible member of society deserves to benefit from the protections provided by the government. I aspire to witness America as a leading nation in terms of justice and generosity. If we desire to avoid insult, we must be able to repel it. If we desire to secure peace, one of the most powerful instruments of our rising prosperity, it must be known that we are at all times ready for war. I conceive a knowledge of books is the basis upon which other knowledge is to be built. Paper money has had the effect in your state that it will ever have, to ruin commerce, oppress the honest, and open the door to every species of fraud and injustice. To encourage literature and the arts is a duty which every good citizen owes to his country. Be kind to all, but trust few, and always paddle your own canoe. We must consult our means rather than our wishes. Real men despise battle, but will never run from it. Discipline is the soul of an army. It makes small numbers formidable, procures success to the weak, and esteem to all. Citizens by birth or choice of a common country, that country has a right to concentrate your affections. The name of American, which belongs to you, in your national capacity, must always exalt the just pride of patriotism, more than any appellation derived from local discriminations. To persevere in one's duty and be silent is the best answer to calumny. We should not look back unless it is to derive useful lessons from past errors and to profit by dearly bought experience. Being well prepared to face the enemy is the best way to achieve peace. Let your heart feel for the afflictions and distress of everyone. My guiding principle is that honesty is always the best policy, whether in public or private affairs. If we offer what we ourselves disapprove to please the people, how can we defend our work? Let us raise a standard that the wise and honest can repair. The rest is in God's hands. Our main rule in dealing with foreign nations is to have as little political connection as possible while extending commercial relations. Virtue is indeed necessary for popular government, extending to all types of free government. To expand the scope of social happiness is the noble objective of a Masonic institution. It is highly desirable that every member of the fraternity, as well as the publications that reveal their guiding principles, should strive to demonstrate to humanity that the ultimate goal of Masonry is to enhance the well-being of all people. No punishment is too great for the man who can build his greatness upon his country's ruin. It is important to cultivate just and amicable feelings towards all nations, rather than holding on to permanent and passionate attachments or antipathies towards specific nations. Gentlemen, you will allow me to put on my spectacles, for I have grown not only gray, but almost blind in the service of my country. Do not rejoice at the misfortune of others, even if they are your enemies. Anything will reveal its secrets if you love it enough. I have discovered that not only do little flowers and peanuts give up their secrets when I talk to them, but people also reveal their secrets when I silently spend time with them and love them enough. Our country is open to not only the wealthy and respected visitors, but also to those who are oppressed and mistreated due to their nationality or beliefs. We will welcome them to enjoy all of our rights and privileges, as long as they behave with decency and propriety, deserving of such treatment. Always submit your opinions with modesty when discussing with superiors. All attempts to obstruct the execution of laws, as well as any groups or associations to direct, control, countering, or intimidate the regular decision-making and actions of those in authority, are harmful to the fundamental principles of our society and have disastrous consequences. I need to have people who can think for me and also execute my orders. The abyss is a place where no traveler is permitted to return. No other people are as aware of the invisible hand that guides the actions of human beings as the people of the United States. Every step that they have taken towards becoming an independent nation has been marked by some sign of divine intervention. A good war is fought with a bad mind. After a brief acquaintance with the world, one can understand that actions speak louder than words when it comes to measuring the attachment of friends. Individuals must surrender some liberty to preserve society. The basis of our political systems is the right of the people to make and to alter their constitutions of government. We started a contest for liberty with limited means, relying on our patriotism to fill the gaps. We expected to encounter many difficulties and hardships, but we must bear them with fortitude. Arbitrary power is most easily established upon the ruins of liberty that has been abused to the point of licentiousness. One tactic used by political parties to gain influence in certain areas is to misrepresent the opinions and intentions of other areas. The time is now near at hand, which must determine whether Americans are to be free men or slaves. The hour is fast approaching, on which the honor and success of this army and the safety of our bleeding country depend. Remember, officers and soldiers, that you are free men, fighting for the blessings of liberty, that slavery will be your portion and that of your posterity, if you do not acquit yourselves like men. Unhappy it is, though, to reflect that a brother's sword has been sheathed in a brother's breast, and that the once happy plains of America are either to be drenched with blood or inhabited by slaves. Sad alternative. But can a virtuous man hesitate in his choice? Making decisions is like brewing coffee. It requires a cooling-off period. The continuous control of one group over another, fueled by feelings of vengeance and inherent to political discord, has resulted in unimaginable atrocities throughout history and around the world. This type of rule is a terrifying dictatorship, which ultimately leads to a more structured and lasting form of tyranny. Following the example of the United States of America, a United States of Europe will exist someday.